The Chittrasiri Committee report prepared to introduce a new constitution to Sri Lanka cricket was handed over to the Cabinet Subcommittee. The Parliament debate on Sri Lanka cricket will be held tomorrow. The Acting Secretary to Sri Lanka Cricket says the statement made by Sports Minister regarding the audit report is not correct. USA grants $500 million to develop the Colombo Harbour. Postal service has been declared as an essential service. Israel silent over the US President's request for a ceasefire in Gaza.
We move on to those and other stories in detail now, taking a look at local news first. The committee appointed to introduce a new constitution to Sri Lanka cricket under the aegis of retired Supreme Court Judge K.T. Chittrasiri handed over its report today to the Cabinet Subcommittee headed by Minister Ali Sabri that was appointed to look into the present situation of Sri Lanka cricket.
This action was taken by President's Secretary Saman Ekanayake under the guidance of President Ranil Wickremesinghe. Cricket is the most popular sport in Sri Lanka and it has faced a complex and a crisis situation at present. The President says, therefore, these problems cannot be solved only by appointing an interim committee. The President stresses that a steadfast and lasting solution should be drawn for the well-being of cricket in the country. Accordingly, the Chittrasiri Committee had presented its report to President last month. It was scheduled to be presented to Parliament after the ICC World Cup cricket tournament this year and after the budget. However, at the face of the current controversial situation, the President has decided to present the proposed new draft of the Constitution to the Parliament through the Cabinet Subcommittee. Accordingly, it will be taken up to debate in Parliament tomorrow. Through the proposed draft of the Constitution, to procedure to appoint Sri Lanka Cricket Control Board will be subjected to a total change. Its context and administration and management will also be amended. Accordingly, under the proposed new constitution, Sri Lanka Cricket Board will have 18 members appointed for a period of 4 years. The director of the board will be vested with the powers to take policy decisions, and the power to carry out decisions will be given to the Director General, who will be appointed by the Board of Directors. In addition, 10 committees are to be appointed to cover up the roles and duties of various sectors. They are namely the Committee of Audit, Stakeholders, Transactions, Nominations, Selection, Tournaments, Facility Development, Tourism, Arbitration and Discipline, Investment, Doping and Anti-Corruption and Salaries.
The debate relevant to the proposal under the title of removing the office bearers and the chairman of Sri Lanka Cricket will begin in Parliament at 9:30 am tomorrow. The vote for the debate is scheduled to be held at 5:30 p.m. Sports Minister Roshan Ranasinghe today made a special statement in the House regarding the current situation of Sri Lanka cricket. Sports Minister Roshan Ranasinghe said that in case of a person going to courts regarding a matter of finance, the courts will finally inquire the Auditor General. If the Auditor General has already stated that financial frauds and corruptions have occurred in an entity, why can't the Auditor General take legal action against the culprits? The Cricket Board has the Cricket Board, which has taken legal action against the Minister to hide their failures. The Cricket Board has paid a sum of 34.6 million rupees as lawyers' fees. The Minister said that he has taken over 5 telephone calls to the Attorney General regarding this matter, but the Attorney General evaded the calls. As the Minister, I am doing an uphill task. At least one person should appear for truth. Therefore, I request the lawyers on behalf of the cricket game stand up against these frauds and corruptions in the Cricket Board. Conduct a forensic audit on Sri Lanka cricket from the year 2018. Many underhand deals including match fixing have been committed. On the other hand, LPL tournament was played at the onset of the World Cup tournament. None of the selection committee or advisory committee pointed this matter out. Due to this matter, many players could not play for the World Cup tournament. In the meantime, they are trying to hold a T10 tournament. These are all rackets. The LPL tournament was organized against the sports law. The board did it without getting the permission of the sports ministry. All the negative results finally affected the team at the World Cup tournament. The selected committee has become a puppet under the director board. This crucial matters ultimately had negative impacts on the World Cup tournament. The top officials of Sri Lanka cricket are hiding the fact that they are involved in numerous frauds, corruptions and malpractices. They attempt to even deceive the ICC by pointing out that they have political influence from the ruling party.
මේ ඔක්කොම ඇතුළු ක්‍රීඩකයෝ 5 දෙනෙක් මොකද්ද උනේ? ඒ අයට සෙල්ලම් කරන්න බැරි වුණා. T10 එකක් කියලා ගහන්න යනවා. T10 එක කියන්නේ අනිම් මගඩිය. LPL එක හරහා කිසිදු සතයක්වත් මේ රටට ඇවිල්ලා නැහැ. බදු ගෙවලත් නැහැ. නීති ක්‍රීඩා නීතියට පටහැනිව LPL එක ගහලා ක්‍රීඩා නීතිය අනුමැතිය ගන්නෙ නැතුව මේ රටේ නීතිය කුණු කූඩේට දාලා LPL ගහලා මේ රටේ ප්‍රධාන අභිලාෂය වෙච්ච ලෝක කුසලානේ අද කොතනද ඉන්නේ? අපේ කණ්ඩායම කොතනද ඉන්නේ? කණ්ඩායම එතන ඉන්න එකේ වගකීම ගන්න ඕන ඔය පාලක මණ්ඩලේ. පාලක මණ්ඩලේ ලොක්කෝ තමයි ක්‍රීඩකෝ තේරුවේ. තේරීම් කමිටුව උනේ ආයේ පඹේ වෙච්ච එක. මේක තමයි ඇත්ත. 20 ලෝක කුසලානේ චෝදනා 54ක් තියෙනවා. දැන් මෙහෙම තත්ත්වයට මේ
Sri Lanka Cricket held a special media briefing today at its premises to clarify over allegations levelled against Sri Lanka Cricket by Sports Minister Roshan Ranasinghe. Acting Secretary to Sri Lanka Cricket, Krishantha Kapuatta, pointed out that the information presented by the Minister of Sports regarding the audit report of Sri Lanka Cricket is incorrect. Acting Secretary to Sri Lanka Cricket, Krishantha Kapuatta, said that it is obvious some elements have misled the Minister. The Minister has made hate speeches frequently against Sri Lanka Cricket in order to rile up the public against the institute. Then the media inquired about the ICC's stance on the current situation in Sri Lanka Cricket. Vice President of Sri Lanka Cricket, Ravin Wickramaratne, said that Sri Lanka Cricket has informed ICC officials regarding the current situation in Sri Lanka, and they had said they do not accept any board without political influences.
In the meantime, the U.S. International Development Finance Corporation DFC today announced it has committed more than $500 million to support the development of a deep-water shipping container terminal in the port of Colombo that will provide critical infrastructure for the South Asian region. DFC Chief Executive Officer Scott Nathan travelled to Sri Lanka to launch the project. DFC invested $553 million in financing to Colombo West International Terminal Private Limited to support the development of the Deepwater West Container Terminal located within the port of Colombo. Foreign Minister Ali Sabri, Chief of Staff to the President Sagala Ratnayaka and US Ambassador to Sri Lanka Julie Chung joined CEO Nathan for the ceremonial launch of the new terminal.
All the very best things. Mr. Krishan Balindra to address the gathering.
India, Mr. Gopal Bagle, in a container terminal at the Colombo port.
A great pleasure to be here with you today.
In white, the Chief Executive Officer of Adani Ports and SEZ.
But if Sri Lanka to really make a comeback, growth need to take place, investment must come in, employment should be generated, and that's how the ordinary people will realize the growth of the Sri Lankan economy. It is in that context I must thank TFC and the Adani groups. These big players coming in with, of course, very well-known Sri Lankan group, John Keels, coming out with this magnitude of an investment and the transformation gives a very, very positive signal to the world that Sri Lanka is ready for investment, Sri Lanka is ready for transformation, and Sri Lanka has a lot of potential as a leader in the region and a logistic hub and a partner who works with everyone in the world. We take a lot of pride in doing that. We are a partner in progress. We welcome everyone to be a partner in this and share our heritage of that partnership. And we are in fact multi-aligned to work with entire world. Therefore, I don't want to take any more time. Once again, I must thank all the organizers and the group which is involved in the whole process here for coming out with this timely investment, and the United States DFC for the commitment that is very crucial point to show that Sri Lanka is ready, and of course a long-standing partnership with the Adani Group in many sectors. So I wish all of you all the very best.
This is a momentous occasion. I'm really looking forward to signing the agreements. I had a chance to visit the site for the Western Container Terminal just this morning. It's so impressive, and I'm so glad to be here. And what I really look forward to is coming back to visit a fully operating facility. The Development Finance Corporation is the modernized development finance institution of the United States. We were created by the United States Congress just 5 years ago. really with the idea of making sure to mobilize capital to meaningful, high-impact projects and companies around the world. A private partnership that helps make a difference for people. And I really can't think of any project that's a better exemplar of that than the project we're here today to celebrate. A project that creates jobs for local communities, a project that supports economic growth at a time of high need for economic growth, a project that makes a difference for the national economy and truly for the international economy by having more capacity for deep water transshipment, the realities in this region, and for global trade make this a critical addition to our global infrastructure.
A special Gazette notification has been issued declaring postal service as an essential service under the direction of President Ranil Wickremesinghe. All employees of the Postal Department have started a trade union action from midnight yesterday. The Postal and Telecommunication Officers Union says the strike will last for 48 hours. The strike action has been taken to stage protest against the decision taken to lease the building of Nuwara and Kandy post offices to the private sector. The Postal and Telecommunication Officers Union says employees of the Colombo Central Exchange started the strike at 4 p.m. yesterday. Meanwhile, issuing an announcement, Postmaster General R.P. Satkumar says that no post office of the Postal Department will be closed. According to the government policy, the Nuwara Postal Office building will be handed over to the Urban Development Authority to utilize for more productive investment opportunity. The Postal General says the relevant agreement has been already sent to the President's Secretary. He added that the subject minister has already provided a suitable building through Urban Development Authority to shift the Nuwara post office. The Postal Department has experienced a loss of 7 billion rupees at last year. However, it has decreased to 3 billion rupees at present. The Postmaster General says in such circumstances resorting to a trade union action will be an obstacle for the development of the Postal Department. The Postal Department is now on a mission to make it profitable by next year. Therefore, trade union actions taken against the government's development will have a negative effect on the Postal Department itself. He requested the employees to therefore give up the trade union action and report to duty as usual. He announced that leave for postal workers today, tomorrow and the day after have been cancelled.
The White House says the United States President Joe Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu discussed the potential for tactical pauses in fighting in Gaza for humanitarian reasons and possible hostage releases in talks on Monday. White House spokesman John Kirby said that the US and Israeli governments would continue to be in touch on such potential temporary pauses and that Biden and Netanyahu agreed to continue talks in the coming days. John Kirby told reporters that the United States expected to continue to advocate for temporary and localized pauses in the fighting. Those conversations came as more Americans are expected to exit Gaza and as far more aid enters the territory. Biden and Netanyahu also discussed the situation in the West Bank. The White House said that fewer than 38 trucks entered Gaza in the last 24 hours. The White House, which maintains that a general ceasefire would not be an appropriate step, has been pushing for shorter pauses in strikes to accomplish specific humanitarian goals. Meanwhile, Gaza's Hamas-run health ministry says the number of people killed there has risen to 10,569, including 4,324 children since Israel began its retaliatory attacks after 7th October. That's an increase of 241 deaths in Gaza since the figure published yesterday. Israeli Defense Minister said today Israeli ground forces were in the heart of Gaza City. He further said that Israeli special operation cannot be stopped until Gaza's Hamas rulers were eliminated. A humanitarian aid convoy has come under the fire in Gaza City, according to International Committee of the Red Cross. Moving on with more local stories, the Ministry of Highways and Mass Media has issued an announcement clarifying a news title published on a newspaper recently. The news item has said that 65 railway employees are ready to go to India to check out railway compartments at a cost of $70,000. The ministry says that the amount should be corrected as $36,400. Court on the procurement to purchase 108 new compartments for the railway department has been offered to the company titled MS Rights on the 24th of July 2018. The relevant agreement has been signed on the 7th of September 2018. Accordingly, under the agreement titled SRSF 7340, the Railway Department has purchased 160 compartments under the Indian Credit Line. According to the agreement, 75 railway employees should be trained on the maintenance of compartments pre-testing before running. During the COVID-19 pandemic, these compartments had been brought to the country. Due to the COVID risk situation, the Railway Department couldn't send its engineers to India to check the relevant compartments. Due to this reason, deploying these compartments to service was delayed mainly due to some technical matters. Later, the technical failures were corrected. However, releasing the compartments from the harbour was continuously delayed due to the protest staged by the Railway Guards Union. After the current minister, Dr. Bandula Gunawardena, came into office, these problems were solved and measures were taken to deploy the compartment for passenger service. According to the relevant agreement, 65 railway employees instead of originally agreed 45 employees were sent to India with the consent of relevant Indian company. Anyway, this inclusion of additional employees did not cost any additional money for the Railway Department. All expenditure, including air tickets, food and beverages, accommodation and other remunerations, were borne by the Rights Limited Company. In addition, Sri Lanka government provides a daily allowance of $40 to each employee participating in the testing tour. Accordingly, the Sri Lankan government has to bear only a sum of $36,400.
Sri Lankan ambassadors in the countries of the Middle East region say that Sri Lankan people should not have a fear over the security of the Sri Lankan migrant workers in those countries amidst Israel-Hamas armed conflict. An online press briefing held in Colombo today, they expressed their views. Jordan ambassador to Sri Lanka, Priyanga Vijayagunasekara, said that Jordan is adjunct to the boundaries of both Israel and Palestine from the western side. However, the situation in Jordan is very calm and peaceful. There are about 12,000 Sri Lankan migrant workers safely working in Jordan at present. Lebanon ambassador to Sri Lanka, Kapila Jayavira, said that the situation in Lebanon is peaceful and no problem in arriving in Lebanon for employment opportunities is there.
Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena told the Parliament that the office term of the IGP has been extended under the powers vested with the President. Meanwhile, the debate of the second reading of the drafted bill for Civil Jurisdiction Code and the drafted bill of defamation to the judiciary and other courts or tribunal was also held in Parliament today. Parliamentarian Vimal Veeravansa said that the tenure of retired IGP has been extended. However, it was not approved by the Constitutional Council. How can this be without its approval? Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said that the Speaker will make statement regarding the appointments sent to the Constitutional Council. The appointments made by the President are valid under the powers vested with the President. There are many lapses in some clauses of the Constitutional Council in approving these appointments. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena said that although we have prepared whatever types of plans to build bridges or roads, they will be only possible if the foreign aid is received. We never receive foreign aid until the debt restructuring program is completed.
අපි ඔළුවෙන් හිටගෙන ඉල්ලා සිටියත් ලැබෙන්නේ නැහැ. කිසිසේත්ම විදේශ ණය ආධාර නැතුව රට සති දෙකක්වත් කවුරු ආණ්ඩු කළත් පවත්වාගෙන යන්න බෑ. ඒ නිසා ප්‍රතිව්‍යුහගත කරන ක්‍රියාවලිය සාර්ථක කරගත්තොත් විතරයි කාට හරි මේ කටයුතු සියල්ල කරන්න පුළුවන්. සීල් අඩු විධාන සංග්‍රහය
Minister Vijaydas Rajapaksa said that it is stated in Civil Procedure Code with regard to how allegations of defamation on judiciary are presented, how to conduct an investigation on such an allegation, what punishment can be given, and all other relevant matters have been included in the Civil Procedure Code. If there is a criminal offence, it is mentioned in the Criminal Code how to act. He said that all other acts and rules are included with the relevant punishments and how to conduct investigations. However, there is no guidance for the Supreme Court regarding this matter. Therefore, we have included appropriate provisions to this act. Minister Ali Sabri said that without foreign investments, Sri Lanka's economy cannot be enhanced. In 1991, export income was at 34% of the gross domestic production. Now it is decreased up to 14%. The reason is that the country does not receive foreign investments at present. Why do foreign investors not come to Sri Lanka? One is that there is a long delay of obtaining legal advice in case of some matters. The second problem is the bureaucratic setbacks.
Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority says that there is a rapid increase in tourist arrivals in the first 5 days of this month. Accordingly, 22,202 foreigners have arrived in the island during this period. Over 1.1 million foreign tourists have arrived in the island so far this year. Majority are from Russia, India, Germany and the UK. In addition, many tourists have come from China, Australia, France and USA and Spain as well. The Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority points out that the current conducive environment in the island and the enhanced facilities in Sri Lankan hotels have led to this growth.
The National Dengue Prevention Unit informs the general public that there is a high risk of the spread of dengue fever during this rainy season. The health authorities informs the public to hospitalize immediately in case of having fever for over 3 days.
Dengue වගකීම අපේ අරමුණයි. ජාතික රූපවාහිනිය සමග මෝටීන්. ඩෙන්ගු නැති හැටක්.
Director of the National Dengue Prevention Unit, Nalinarya Ratna, said that there is a slight increase of daily cases of dengue fever. Therefore, one must consult a physician immediately in case of having fever.
Dengue වගකීම අපේ අරමුණයි. ජාතික රූපවාහිනිය සමග මෝටීන්. ඩෙන්ගු නැති හැටක්.
Pioneer and first head of the music division of Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, Dr. Visharad Somasiri Ilesinghe has passed away.
He was 84 years at the time of demise. He is the one who created the theme of the newscast at the corporation. Born on the 20th of March in 1939 in Badegama, Somasiri Ilesinghe joined the music division of Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation at its initiation. He got the Visharad title for music from the Badkand Music Institute in India. He has contributed to produce many music programs titled Sangeeta Makaranda, Swara Ranga, Swasangita, Geeta Mavata, Sapita Swara, Sanka Padma, Mavate Api, Gi Amabindu and many other musical and literary programs. As a visiting lecturer of the aesthetic faculty of the Kelaniya University, he had created a school of music graduates. He was also an advisor to the Indian Cultural Centre. Well, that's it on local news. We'll be back with news overseas. Moving on to news overseas now, a new data suggests that this year, 2023, will be the warmest year on record, according to BBC. The prediction follows exceptional high October temperatures. Global average air temperatures were 0.4 Celsius warmer than the previous high of October 2019, according to the European Union's Climate Change Service. Driven by carbon emissions and an El Nino weather event, this was the 5th month in a row of record warmth. Researchers say that extreme global temperatures will likely continue into 2024. Researchers say that this year will be the warmest ever recorded and now pretty much unavoidable. The last 2 months of 2023 are extremely unlikely to reverse the trend, and high temperatures around the world have continued into November. The number of days breaking through the 1.5 Celsius warming threshold has already reached a new high well before the end of the year.
Prima Stella Set Yogurt.
ජය ගන්න වැඩි වෙන්න.
Now on to sports news. Australia yesterday qualified for the Super 4 round of the World Cup cricket tournament by defeating the Afghan team by 3 wickets yesterday. Batting first, Afghanistan scored 291 runs for the loss of 5 wickets. In their 50 overs, Ibrahim Zaradan scored 129 runs. In reply, Australia lost their first 7 wickets for just 91 runs. Then Glenn Maxwell, the captain, and captain Pat Cummins led the team for the victory. They built up a record partnership of 202 runs for the 8th wicket. Glenn Maxwell scored 201 runs, not out. This is the highest number of runs in a World Cup match in this tournament.
We'll have to hurry. he's home.
Prima Stella Set Yogurt.
ජය ගන්න වැඩි වෙන්න.
That's it for tonight's English News Telecast. Thank you for joining us. Good night.
Good night.